What's up, everyone? In today's video, we're going to be going over 4 Knicks players with a strong chance to have a breakout season. The New York Knicks have a lot of young players on the roster with potential. In the past, the Knicks haven't done a great job with player development, but I believe this year, the front office got it right in trying to put the young core in a position to succeed. They hired some strong player development coaches like Kenny Payne and Johnny Bryant, and they added some shooters to give these guys room to operate. Last year's Knicks had the worst floor spacing in the league, which definitely hurt the development of guys like RJ Barrett. So let's get right into it. But before we continue, if you like content like this, please like the video as it really encourages the YouTube algorithm to recommend it to more people, and please subscribe as it really helps my channel grow. Now let's get started. The first player that's set to break out this year is Mitchell Robinson. Being selected with the 36th pick, Mitchell Robinson has been one of the steals of the 2018 draft. He was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, but his draft stock took a huge hit after he didn't play at Western Kentucky. Part of the reason Mitch was originally ranked so high is because he's a physical specimen. He's 7'1" with a long 7'4" wingspan, and he's very athletic for a player his size. He can run the floor really well and jump out the gym, and thanks to those physical tools, he's an incredible rim protector. Since the time Mitch stepped foot on an NBA court, he's been one of the top shot blockers in the league. But Mitch's defense isn't limited to just protecting the paint. Thanks to the fact that he's light on his feet, he can very easily switch onto a perimeter player and hold his own in that matchup. Mitch has all the tools to one day be Defensive Player of the Year. Offensively, Mitch hasn't shown much versatility on that end of the floor, but he's damn good at what he does well. Thanks to his size and athleticism, he's an amazing finisher at the rim. He's really good scoring as a roll man out the pick and roll. He's a great lob target, and as a result, he had a field goal percentage of 74% last season, which broke the league's previous record of 73% by Wilt Chamberlain. If we dive into his numbers, Mitch averaged 9 points, 7 boards, and 2 blocks a game last year, which was done in just 23 minutes a game. If we look at his per 36 numbers, Mitch averaged 15 points, 11 boards, and 3 blocks a game, which is extremely impressive. So as we can see, when Mitch receives starter minutes, he's extremely productive. But the problem with Mitch is that you can't play him too many minutes, otherwise he'll just foul out. A lot of young bigs tend to have this issue early in their career. In his third year, I think Mitch will finally fix that issue and become a starting center that can play 30 minutes a game. Mitch will benefit greatly from working with Kenny Payne during training camp and in practice. Kenny Payne, who worked as the top assistant at Kentucky for years, is known as the big man whisperer because of the work he's done with many players that have come on to become elite NBA centers. For example, Kenny Payne has trained with Anthony Davis, Karl Anthony Towns, Boogie Cousins, and Bam Adebayo at Kentucky, who've all become NBA All-Stars. Hiring a player development coach with a great track record of training big men is the best thing the Knicks could have done for Mitchell Robinson. He'll certainly teach Mitch how to stay more disciplined on defense and avoid fouls, which will make Mitch a much more impactful defender. Offensively, I don't see Mitch shooting 3-pointers or dribbling like a guard like he's been doing during his training videos, but if he could just expand his game a little bit offensively, like shooting more mid-range jumpers or attacking off the dribble, I think that would be huge for his game. Going into next season, Mitch has all the opportunities to have a breakout season and establish himself as a top 10 center in the NBA. The second breakout candidate is RJ Barrett. RJ had a really underrated rookie year. Despite finishing top 5 in multiple rookie statistical categories, he got left off the all-rookie teams for some brain-dead reason. But luckily, RJ will use that snub as motivation to kill it in his second year. Now RJ does have his weaknesses, there's no question about it. He's a really poor shooter. He only shot 32% from 3 and 64% from the free throw line his first year, which is pretty bad. Despite having those weaknesses, In his rookie season, RJ showed some elite skills that will be the foundation of him eventually becoming an all-star. Despite not being the fastest, RJ is elite at getting to the rim and drawing fouls. He may not be the fastest, but he's got a solid handle and he's crafty, which allows him to get to the basket at will. RJ ranked 31st in the league in shot attempts within 5 feet of the basket, right behind guys like Spencer Dinwiddie and Jason Tatum. And his 4.6 free throw attempts a game ranked 36th in the league, right behind Jason Tatum and Donovan Mitchell. This means that as just a 19-year-old rookie, RJ was getting to the rim and getting to the free throw line at the same rate as some NBA All-Stars. Once RJ Barrett improves his outside shooting and his ability to hit free throws, he should be a 20 points per game scorer in the league, and I do believe that RJ will make that leap in his second year. Throughout the offseason, RJ Barrett and his trainer tweaked RJ's shooting mechanics, which should lead to a better jump shot in the upcoming season. Furthermore, when the Knicks were holding practices this offseason, it was reported that RJ was lighting it up in practice, and it was also reported by the coaches that RJ came in looking ripped. The fact that RJ is in phenomenal shape and was killing it in practice shows that he has a great work ethic and he's ready to dominate in his second year. What will also aid RJ's development is the fact that the Knicks hired Johnny Bryant from Utah, who's one of the best player development coaches in the league. Back in Utah, he worked closely with Gordon Hayward and Donovan Mitchell, who have both gone on to become all-stars. Bryant will definitely take RJ under his wing and work with him during training camp to help RJ improve. Expect that RJ Barrett will take a significant leap in his second year. The next guy who's primed to have a breakout season is Frank Ntilikina. Since getting drafted in the league back in 2017, Ntilikina's play on the court has been a mixed bag to say the least. Defensively, Frank makes a significant impact on that end. He's got excellent physical tools at 6'6" with a 7'1" wingspan, which helps him to defend multiple positions on the court. We've seen him do a good job defending guys like Trae Young, and we've also seen him do a good job defending players as big as Luka Doncic. He's a great defender. The problem with Frank is that he really struggles on the offensive end. His third year in the league, Frank did make some strides. His numbers didn't skyrocket, but last season we saw a more impressive handle from Frank, and we saw him a lot more aggressive on the offensive end. Frank tends to play really passive, but last year, Frank seemed a lot more willing to break down the defense and look for his own shot. We also saw Frank's field goal percentage climb from 34% to 39%, and his three-point percentage jump from 29% to 32%. Those aren't massive leaps, but they at least show that he's improving. This year, Frank is poised to finally have that breakout season. Since the Knicks re-signed Payton, he likely won't start, but he could become the Knicks' most valuable bench piece. If Frank can get his three-point percentage up to at least league average, that will make him much more impactful on the court. There are indicators that his three-point percentage will improve. For one thing, Frank shoots 86% from the free throw line, and free throw is a pretty good indicator of how good a shooter you are. Furthermore, Frank shot 48% from the corner three last year. Those numbers suggest that it's only a matter of time before Frank's three-point percentage climbs to about 35 or 36% next season. Marcus Smart was a poor three-point shooter early in his career, but in his fifth year, he finally got it up to 36%. Frank can bring that three-point percentage up as long as he's putting in the work. Along with the shooting, I think Frank will continue to get better as a scorer and a playmaker. He was looking more confident with the ball last year, and hopefully he builds on that. Before the season ended, Frank had a 20-point and 10 assists a game against the Wizards. Frank is also headed into a contract year. He's a free agent at the end of next season, so it's critical that he shows some growth if he wants the Knicks to extend him. I do expect that Frank will make a nice leap in his fourth year. The last player who's primed to have a breakout season is Alec Burks. Burks has bounced around the league the past few years, but he's been a good pro wherever he's been. Burks does a lot of things pretty well on offense. For one thing, Alec Burks is an excellent outside shooter. Whether it's shooting off the catch or shooting three-pointers off the dribble, if he has a dimmer of daylight, his shot is automatic. Along with the excellent shooting, Burks has some pretty good shot creation ability off the dribble. He's really good at knocking down pull-up jumpers in the mid-range, he can get to the basket and finish, and he does a pretty good job of scoring in the post. Burks is also a pretty solid playmaker. He's been a role player for most of his career, but as a veteran on a bad team like the Knicks, he'll probably take more responsibility on offense, which could lead to him putting up career highs across the board. This is exactly what happened with Marcus Morris last year. Morris is a career 12 points per game scorer, but he was averaging just under 20 a game for the Knicks before he got dealt at the deadline. If Burks has a breakout season for the Knicks, that'll be great for them because that'll allow the Knicks to move him at the trade deadline for a draft pick, just like they did with Morris last year. And there you have it. Those are the 4 guys on the Knicks that I think have a great chance to have a breakout year. Who do you think is primed to have a breakout season on the Knicks? Tell me in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe and enjoy the rest of your day.